Hello, and welcome to my series of videos on burnout, how to recognise, understand and deal with it. If you've had the opportunity to look at my short introductory video on the website, you will understand why I'm doing this series. It's personal. But let's get started and think about what it is that causes burnout and what it looks like. There are three main factors that make it different from stress or anything else you may have experienced. Firstly, you feel completely emotionally exhausted. Not just, oh, it's going to be difficult to get out of bed again, or I've got to go to that meeting again. This is sheer physical, emotional, psychological, completely washed out, nothing left in the tank, exhaustion. You have nothing left. The second aspect is you lose all your ability to show or feel any empathy or care or compassion. And that's not like you. You usually can. And the third element is it kind of feels futile. Nothing seems to make a difference. You actually recognize that there's something not right and you've tried everything, but nothing seems to work this time. And you really don't know what to do. You are truly burned out. Burnout is caused by constant stress and the stressors that create the stress. Years ago, when we were hunter-gatherers, we experienced stress, but it was when our lives were threatened and our brain was saying, oh, I've got to do something about this. That's the stress you were under. And it was about fight, flight, or freeze. But that was short-lived, and the threat went away. The lion decided to go off somewhere else, and you could calm down. That doesn't happen today. You are being bombarded with one stress after another, or you are in that situation with the stressor that you can't get away from. My next episode does deal with the stressor in a lot more detail, but I make no apology for presenting this as a man and a male issue, because if you're a woman who's in the workplace, you will have experienced this. Millions of women do. That being belittled, bullied, being condescended to, criticised, shown aggression, and intimidated. They're all the stressor, behaviours of the stressor, and you can't do anything about that situation. That's the stressor for you. Consequently, our brain is either in that fight, flight, or freeze mode. Now, clearly in the workplace, or anywhere else, actually, fighting is not an option. It really wouldn't be a good idea, and you wouldn't be safe. However much you may feel like resorting to it, not a good idea. So what are the two other options you have? Well, flight, yes, you could leave the situation. You could remove yourself from the situation for a short time. You could, as I did, leave work entirely because you've had enough. Neither of those may be an option to you because of your personal circumstances. And you may find yourself feeling completely helpless in that freeze scenario. Freeze these days is not often about physically standing stock still or sitting stock still. It's more about doing nothing. It's called learned helplessness, and it's incredibly debilitating. And I talk more about that in future episodes. But what it means is even though you've seen lots of other people deal with this stressor, and you've tried all of those things and many others, it's not effective for you. So you just give up. But you can deal with the stress, and here are some tips to help you deal with them. But before we talk about those, I do just want to make the point that if you are in a situation where you feel physically or emotionally threatened in the home environment, then please seek help. You do not have to put up with it. You need to keep yourself and anyone else in that situation safe. There is no shame, and there are lots of organisations that can help you. So please just pick up the phone or talk to somebody and get the help you need and deserve. For all those other situations, these tips will work. But the key is consistency. So deciding on what's going to work for you and then doing it every day. Whether that is exercise, and I don't mean going for a marathon, running for a marathon or whatever, a 10-mile hike. It could just be having a bit of a jig around, but getting up, moving your body somehow or other, tells your brain there's no threat anymore, and it will help with the stress, as does breathing. You could try meditation. You could try, in certain scenarios, just breathing deeply, counting to 5 in and counting to 5 out. No one need know you're doing it, and it can make the world of difference. Social interacting, connecting with other people has been difficult, but find a way of just saying hello, having a conversation. It tells our brain there's no threat, and it works. Laughter, we know, always makes us feel better, and the research is now increasingly showing that it alters our mindset. It gives us a completely different positive outlook that lasts far longer than the laughter. And we know the power of being shown and giving affection. A hug, either receiving one or giving one. Crying is a different matter. And for many women, you kind of sit there thinking, and I thought this, what, cry to relieve stress? It's one of the most stressful things that happens. Actually, that's because in the workplace, it's seen as a sign of weakness, particularly for women. It's not acceptable for you, man or woman, actually, to cry. You're expected to deal with these things without showing those kind of emotions. But it is just an emotion, but it's an emotional release that tells your brain everything's okay. You've found a way of dealing with the stress. The way to make it effective is to step out of what's happening. And when you are crying, think about what's going on here. Am I clenching my fists? Am I gulping for breath? Am I huddled in a little ball? Have I curled myself up? Are my fists clenched? Are tears streaming down my face? Or am I just dry-eyed but still crying? As you do that, it both lessens the distress of crying itself and is more beneficial to you as a stress release. But all of these tips are effective. You can try one, you can try them all, but do it consistently. Even with all of this, though, sometimes it's hard to do it on your own. I get that. And that's what I'm here for. If you're struggling, don't do it on your own. Email me and we can have a 30-minute, no obligation chat to talk about what's going on for you, how you're feeling, and how I might help you deal with your burnout. In the meantime, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you in episode 2, where we look at dealing with the stressor. Thank you for listening.